So the question is, what if you had to improve baseball? So first off, I've went deep into the tank and try to find the things that really I hated about baseball. So here's my list of things I do not like. Pitching is boring. Like, the idea that 70% of the time nothing happens in your sport is just not okay. Next up, the audience checks out fairly quickly. Like, I don't know how often you guys go to baseball games, but when I do, usually around like the 6th or 7th inning, I've very often left the stands to go to like the clubhouse or get something to eat and like miss innings at a time that I just don't even worry about.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I went to a sporting event specifically to watch sports and then didn't even watch half the sport I went to because I got bored. I don't like that half the players aren't even playing. Like, first off, obviously, only one person on one team is batting at any time. Like, maybe one guy standing around on base, but that whole team is just sitting for half the game.
I mean, that's true in almost any sport, right?
I mean, you have your bench, but like stuff like soccer where, they're running, the guys will run like a marathon and be out there the whole game I like that better. And even when they're on the field, half the people aren't doing anything. Like, at any given point, 9 out of 11 fielders are doing nothing. So that always kind of bothered me a little bit. And lastly, 9 innings just feels like a lot of repetition. Like, it's a lot of time to be doing the same boring thing over and over again. So let's start off with the pitching. You can make pitching more exciting, like with, cannons or something. But again, I don't like the idea that like you start a play and then most of the time nothing happens. So I propose we just use the already existing solution and have a T-ball and just play T-ball. Like, you're going to get a play every time, which is the fun part of baseball. Obviously, this isn't a great solution because one, yes, it's going to get a little too easy.
You think?
Yeah. So my first thing was like, can people not hit it far enough? And then actually no, because I don't have pro stats, but minor leaguers will sometimes have T-ball like competitions. And they can hit the ball like over 350 feet, which will go over like the foul line home run sections. So people are just going to get home runs fairly consistently. And probably at the pro level, probably everybody can just do it. Another fun side fact along those lines is they can actually throw the ball just as far, if not further, than they can tee it. So there's like a bunch of times where, like, you'll see players like from, not during the game, of course, but like they'll throw it from home plate over like the far home run wall. I'm like, it's pretty awesome. Far. So if everyone hits a home run, the game's going to be all sorts of repetitive. So we got to find a way to make it interesting for the fans. So here's what we do. We take the whole field and basically turn it 180 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit the baseball into the stands instead of the field.
That's safe.
Yeah, so 2 caveats. 1, we're going to replace the baseball with like a handball painted like a baseball or something that's a good bit softer. And 2, if the fans are the ones feeling the balls, admittedly, there's probably going to be a significant home team advantage. So I was looking at trying to fix these 2 problems. So here's where I came, where I landed on this. So if you actually enact this baseball change, and some guy who is a big sports baseball fan comes over and he's like telling his kids, he's like, I remember when baseballs were hard. And the kids are like, wouldn't that hurt? And then he has to explain how baseball used to work. And it's going to sound really dumb in retrospect because I'm making baseball awesome and baseball right now is not great. Second, it's going to, like, the home team advantage problem is going to be sort of self-correcting because it's going to really encourage fans to travel to away games because being a fan at the stands is actually helping your team win. So it's going to be like a whole new thing to be like, I want to get out to, New York because I really want to beat those fuckers and I can do my part. So then I had to work on getting fan feeling to actually work. And I didn't want to do it where just whoever catches the ball, if it's your fan, it's a point for your team, and if it's another fan, it's a point for that team. Because I think even that would kind of get boring because, you're a low chance that you actually get to catch a ball yourself, even if every single ball is getting hit into the stands. So I think what you do, and this is how I solve the half the players aren't even playing problem, is you disperse the rest, anyone who's not batting, because the fielders aren't going to be useful anymore. Everyone who's not batting gets dispersed into the stands. So you have half the team dispersed wherever they want to in the stands, And the goal is for the fans, if you're a fan of the home team, to get it to a home team player. And if you're a fan of the away team, you get it to an away team player. And basically, whatever team gets the ball decides how the play happens. And I think there's going to be a lot of fun, like, fan moments where, like, some guy sees, his team, his teams, I guess you could still call him the catcher, a few rows over, and he throws it over there, but he fucks up the throw, and another team's fan catches it and, like, throws it back the other way to his team guy. It's going to be buck wild and awesome. Maybe it's a little too exciting. Maybe some people actually get injured, but it'll just be part of watching the sport.
You just gotta expect to get hurt in this sport.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know exactly how to incorporate. This is the one part of that was kind of just like I forgot to think about before we started recording, but I just realized that I was going to have people run the bases, and I wanted to make the bases just further apart to make these people run more than 90 feet. Because, actually do some activity when you're playing a sport professionally. So I was going to put the bases like all around the whole field, so you actually get to do some running. Also, I think fielding in the stands is going to take a bit longer than fielding in the field.
Probably, yeah. I'd imagine
so you need some extra time. I guess if the away team gets it and the person's not at a base, then they're out. And if the home team gets it, the not batting team gets it, then I've confused myself. If the people who would normally be fielding get the ball, and the person who's running is not on a base, it's an out. And if the team that's batting gets the ball, then they're safe wherever they are. There we go.
You got it.
I solved it. Now, even this can get a little repetitive over the long term. So I think now that we've made the sport, I would say, a little bit more fun and a little bit less, like, serious and, like, statistic heavy, we can have some fun with the innings, I think. So maybe, like, you change the ball out, or, like, do special fan things, like, empty out a section of the stadium, and then, like, the ball gets hit there and everyone, like, rushes towards it, which, now that I said it, also sounds dangerous. Safety has not been a concern of mine. But I think the best thing to just escalate the game as it progresses is just each one of the 9 innings, add one additional batter with an additional tee.
Oh, God.
So inning 1, 1 ball gets hit. Inning 2, 2 balls get hit. And so on and so forth. And I think that's just going to be a better version of baseball, guys.
I like that you started this episode involving, like, electric current shooting out in front of your feet on the beach, and then somehow got less safe.
I would say I think it's still okay safe,
Yeah, they're cushy handballs.
Perfect.
That solves everything.
Yeah, I mean, you can get hit by a handball pretty fucking hard and it doesn't hurt.
I guess that's true.
And, like, if you get a welt, it's like, it's like you caught a foul ball.
But can you get hit by a 280-pound man who is a fan of the other team who's trying to get that ball from you afterwards?
Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay, my brain just figured it out. Okay, so the ball now has to light up.
Oh, no.
And, well, that's going to be good for night games anyway. It's going to be an important bit. But also, you take all the dangerous and hard seats and concrete and all that. Forget all that. All the stands at each like height section is now a big ball pit.
Oh, God.
So you have to find the ball.
You find the glowing ball in the big ball pit. Which, that is fun. You cannot tell me that won't be the best improvement to the sport.